James.
Here.
Commissioner Birmingham emailed me and is absent. Commissioner Hicks.
Here.
Commissioner Klukoff.
Here.
Commissioner Levinson. Absent. Commissioner Perno. Absent. Commissioner Platt. Absent. Commissioner Wilkinson.
Here.
And Commissioner Yarnall.
Here.
Levinson's not a commissioner.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe the first piece of business, we understand Sandy Levinson has resigned from the commission, and before his term as mayor was completed, Mayor Platt appointed Pat. Welcome aboard to the group, and Pat reports she's been sworn in, right?
Yes.
So we're good to go with that.
What's your last name?
Ricardo. So Pat, I think I coached your one of your relatives in soccer over these many years.
Really? Your JT?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all getting older, right?
So Pat, would you make sure that you give all your pertinent information to
Yeah.
Dan before the evening's out, with email, telephone numbers, whatever we can to get in touch with you?
And to my knowledge, I believe Pat lives on the Cherry Hill Merchantville border.
Right
So.
here, right around the corner.
Oh, so that's why you knew where the place was.
So it's good to have that perspective. We understand notice of this public meeting was notified both in Cherry Hill and in Merchantville on websites and in town halls, and publication of the meeting was done in the Courier Post as well. So we complied with the Open Public Meetings Act. You want to lead us in the pledge?
Sure.
It's a good thing to do. It's part of government.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes have been distributed by Dan via email. So those of you who we have email addresses have had the opportunity to read them in advance. Any corrections or comments on the minutes?
Fine.
I move that be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good. Why don't we start with a little bit off quite the agenda with some updates besides Pat joining us. Rich, why don't you talk a little bit about Anthony Bruno's status?
Okay, Anthony is at a meeting that he probably won't be able to get away from until after 8:30 or so, so he's probably not going to be able to be here tonight. But he has been appointed as an official liaison from the Merchantville Council to this committee. He's been a member and sworn in as a member of the committee, but his status was as a commissioner, but he now shares the status of commissioner and official liaison from our governing body, so that there's going to be the possibility of more information and give and take back and forth, so that Anthony would be our conduit essentially to the Merchantville Council, Mayor and Council, and so his status has been altered slightly. Duties haven't changed much, except that he now has the official responsibility to communicate officially to the council and to our governing body in Merchantville.
And why don't I update the commission and the audience about a meeting that Rich and I had with the new mayor of Cherry Hill, Chuck Kahn, and his top administrative staff. We thought it would be a good idea for us to go meet the new mayor and introduce ourselves to him and take his temperature on this process and where we're at. And I think the mayor, as all new executives do, is trying to learn as much as he can about the variety of things on his plate as mayor. He was aware of this commission's activity. I think he has a very open mind towards this process, wants a good, thorough study to be done, which would show the costs and benefits of a potential merger for both community, so he genuinely understands that this is a study commission with the intent to put a report together that does all of that at the end. He pledged cooperating with us fully, but he does need some time as he's got a number of things on his plate as part of the transition to exactly identify on who his staff will be working with us and how we'll be going forward with the township council, mayor, and professional staff at the council, at the township. So I came away from the meeting, and Rich, you could jump in, thinking we'll have good cooperation, good collaboration, and from both the council and the mayor, and then the mayor's professional staff.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same sense throughout the meeting and afterwards too. The one thing I want to add to it is that the process may be a little bit slower. Not that it hasn't been slow already, but the process may be a little bit slower for the next several weeks until, let's say, they get up to speed, you know, with getting not their act together, but getting, as Roger said, getting assignments done, how things are going to work, who's going to be responsible in their administration for what kind of information. So I think we have to, at some level, cut them some slack while we're still going ahead with what we need to go ahead with. And as we get into new business, I have a suggestion or two about how we can facilitate that, give them time to get things together politically and mechanically in the new administration, and also not impede our work going forward.
Just to add part of the situation we are in, this is the first consolidation study group, which is this hybrid of a citizen-started process in Merchantville and a governmental started process in Cherry Hill. So all of us are learning how such a hybrid organization ought to work and how it ought to be staffed. We as volunteers obviously have to rely on and depend to some significant degree on the professionals in both towns for information and for ability to help us manage the process. So all of us are continuing to learn on that. In fact, the mayor had some questions for us about the process that maybe, George, you can help us out a little bit on. So we'll put you on the hot spot as part of old business and pushing the process forward. So maybe for the audience and as much for the commission, can you just briefly go through, as you understand it, all the steps that we would go through and all the other governmental entities that would be involved in the process with us, so we just understand as a commission more fully DCA's role, superintendent of schools for the county's role, what reports we can anticipate getting from other agencies of government as we go through this process. It would be very helpful to me.
Well, the reports that you can expect to get are from the Department of Community Affairs and the Department of Education together. The examinations of fiscal impact and that will be an evaluation of the impacts on the tax rates. One of the issues related to this process, of course, is the fact that one of the municipal entities is a calendar fiscal and one is a July 1, June 30th fiscal year. And that is going to have an impact on the preparation of that fiscal impact study. Essentially, the two bodies that are primarily involved in this with you are those two state agencies. They're really, you're not going to be involved with any other, and the primary entity within the DCA is the entity that I'm liaison of, and that is the Department of Community Affairs and specifically the Division of Local Government Services. The process, you're already well into it, as you can see, and that calls for you all to examine the specific avenues, areas of impact besides just the fiscal impact. So, I would say that you're going to take at least as much time as you have in front of you for your subcommittees to operate and get into this and figure out, what's, how these two communities can phase together, if that's rewarding and possible.
So can you just sort through for us on the fiscal study? Do people from DCA actually come out to each municipality, interview, Public Works, Chief of Police?
No. What we work from is the documents which we have in place. We have all of the financial information that we require through the annual submissions that each municipality makes. The annual financial statement, the annual debt statements, the annual budgets that are submitted. The result, and of course all of the tax information that we receive as well. The assessment information, and from that, it's not that difficult to put together what is really a raw data presentation of the fiscal impact.
So it doesn't have in it any particular assumptions on if a consolidation were to occur, how any particular service would be staffed, or how...
Does not have those. It's strictly a mathematical representation of how the consolidation would affect the tax rate, all things being equal.
Which
Yes.
are
And
not
we-
necessarily
But
true.
it does not address the efficacy of the activity.
Right.
In other words, how your departments are going to phase together, what services will be provided. These are all very, subjective, local decisions that have to be made.